The Cat's Elopement. Once upon a time, there lived a cat of marvelous beauty, with fur as soft and shining as silk and wise green eyes that could see even in the dark. His name was Gon, and he belonged to a music teacher who was so fond and proud of him that he would not have parted him for anything in the world. Now, not far from the music master's house, there lived a lady who possessed a most lovely little cat called Kama. She was such a dear little cat. She blinked her eyes so daintily and ate her supper so tidily, and when she had finished, she licked her pig nose so delicately with a little tongue that her mitches were never tired of saying, "Coma, Coma, what should I do without you?" Well, it happened one day that these two went out for an evening stroll, met under a cherry tree, and in a moment fell madly in love with each other. Gon had long felt that it was time for him to find a wife. All the ladies in the neighborhood paid him so much attention that it made him quite shy, and it was not easy to please and did not care about any of them. Now, before he had time to think, Cupid has entangled him in his net, and he was filled with love for Coma. She fully returned his emotion, but she saw the difficulties in the way and consulted sadly with Gonis how to overcome them. Ron begged his master to set matters right of buying Coma, but the mitches would not part away from her. Then the music master was asked to sell Gon to the lady, but he would not listen to any such suggestion, so everything remained as before. The love of the couple grew so much that they decided to please themselves and seek their fortunes together. So on moonlit night, they ran away and ventured out into an unknown world. All day long, they marched gratefully on through the sunshine till their homes were far behind them, as they found themselves in a large park. The wanderers by this time were very hot and tired. The grass looked very soft and inviting, and the trees cast cool, deep shadows. Suddenly, an ogre appeared in this paradise in the shape of a big dog. He came springing towards them, showing all his teeth. Coma shrieked and rushed up a cherry tree. Gon, however, stood his ground boldly and prepared to give battle, for he felt that Coma's eyes were upon him and that he must not run away. But his courage would have been of no use had his enemy touched him, for he was large and powerful and very fierce. From a perch in a tree, Coma saw it all and screamed with all her might, hoping that someone might hear and come to help. Luckily, a servant of the princess who owned the park was walking by. He drove off the dog and, picking up the trembling Gon in his arms, carried him to his mistress. So poor little Coma was left alone, while Gon was taken away full of worry, not knowing in the least what to do. Even the attention the princess gave him, who was delighted with his beauty and pretty ways, did not console him, but there was no use in fighting against fate, and he could only wait and see what would turn up. The princess, Gon's new mistress, was so good and kind that everybody loved her. She would have led a happy life, and had it not been a serpent who had fallen in love with her and was constantly annoying her by his presence. Her servants had orders to drive him away as often as he appeared. But as they were careless, and the serpent was very sly, it sometimes happened that he was able to slip past them and frighten the princess by appearing before her. One day, she was seated in her room, playing a favorite musical instrument, when she felt something gliding up her side, and she saw her enemy making his way to kiss her cheek. She shrieked and threw herself backwards. Gon, who had been curled up on a stool at his feet, understood her terror and with one bound seized the snake by his neck. He gave him one bite and one shake and flung him on the ground, where he lay never to worry the princess any more. The princess took Gon in her arms, praised and caressed him, and saw that he had the nicest food to eat and the softest mess to lie on. Gon would have nothing in the world to wish for if only he could have seen Coma again. Time passed on, and one morning, Gon lay at the house door, basking in the sun. He looked lazily at the world stretched out before him, and saw in the distance a big ruffian of a cat teasing and ill-treating quite a little one. He jumped up, full of rage, and chased away the big cat. Then he turned to comfort the little one, when his heart nearly burst with joy to find that it was Koma. At first, Koma did not know him, for he had grown so large and stately, but when she realized who it was, her happiness knew no bounds. They rubbed their heads and noses again and again, while the purring might have been heard a mile off. Paw in paw they appeared before the princess and told her the story of their life and their sorrows. The princess wept out of sympathy and promised that they would never be parted again, but should live with her to the end of their days. By and by, the princess herself got married and brought a prince to live in a palace in the park. She told him all about her two cats, how brave Gon had been, and how he had delivered her from her enemy the serpent. When the prince heard, he swore they would never leave them, and they should go with the princess whenever she went. So it all worked out as the princess wished, and Gon and Koma has many children, so that the princess and they all played together and were friends to the end of their lives. Gon lived with a music teacher. In the park, when the dog appeared, Koma, up a cherry tree, who chased the dog away in the park, the princess servants. What was the princess doing just before Gon killed the snake? Playing a musical instrument. In the park, if the dog had not been chased away, Gon probably would have been been hurt. When Gon went to live with the princess, Koma most likely felt nervous and sad. Gon was ready to find the dog because when facing the dog, Gon's behavior can be described as nasty, greedy, courageous, or curious. Which prefix could be added to please to turn it into its opposite? And please, I guess? Oh, it's not. Okay. Once upon a time there lived a cat of marvelous beauty. Which word cannot replace marvelous? Average. Because marvelous was something that is so extraordinary, that is above average, obviously, so yeah. 90% is still a good result. And let's see my reward. I would choose randomly a door here and see my reward besides the door. Let's see, I would choose the Starstruck. I know. It is Mike Hohara, and we would have received a kind of like card with the character and the description of him, something like that. So kind of cool. I'm gonna close this, and there you go. I've just finished a book. Thank you so much for reading along with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!